And welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
And today we got Robbie Digital here in defense of, say hi to the people first, Robbie.
You know what it is, it's Robbie Digital. When a real nigga in the room, give a nigga room.
All right, you got your new sayings all the time. All right, I'm gonna start having my own sayings. Fuck you. But Rob is here because he is in defense of this album, Self-Made Volume 1. It is the first compilation album released by MMG. MMG, as we know, is Rick Ross's label. It was released in 2011 with featured artists such as Wale, Meek Mill, Pill, Stally, Tidra Moses, and it featured Jeremiah, J. Cole, Saha the Prince, French Montana, Currency, Jadakiss, amongst others. It was a very, very, very stacked album, and it was a big deal. How do we feel about Self-Made Volume 1? I'll start with Taurian.
I remember this moment when it happened, and it was a big deal because Meek was on his way, and everybody was shocked that Wale, Mr. Conscious Rapper, was signing with MMG. So those were the two most polarizing things. I also remember that people maybe my group of friends, I won't say everyone, I'll stop exaggerating with that. But I remember like there were some people that I know that were arguing if Pill or Meek were going to be the ones who like made it because they kind of were cut from the same cloth as far as like content. And a lot of people were like had more faith in Pill, but he alcoholism and certain demons that he had kind of like halted his career. Those were the three biggest things that came out of it. And listening to this project made me already know something, like told me something that I already knew, and that is that Rick Ross, if he didn't have a career in rapping, he absolutely be an A&R.
Yeah, I agree with that. His everybody is always champion Ross's ear for production, and this album came at a good time because he was on fire, like solo wise. I think Ashes to Ashes was out around this time. Play Your Part was really big, which ended up on this album. So the lead up to this was really, really dope. And like you said, Meek was like next up. Like Meek was that guy that people was championing. So it made Ross look all the more better to align himself with both Meek and Wale. And Wale, we felt like his transition to MMG, or at least I did, felt like it would be a lot easier because he already had a name for himself. He was already like on the blogs, heavy. He was well respected. He was coming off of Attention Deficit, which was, moderately received. So I was looking forward to everything Wale was about to do. So this album was a big deal, and Rob has been dying to do this album. So I really want to hear what he says about it. So get into it, bruh.
I like Self-Made for a numerous amount of reasons. I just think about where Wale and where Meek's career was at that time. Like to most, on the surface level, a lot of people didn't know who Meek was. Wale being an established artist, getting dropped from Interscope because of Mark Ronson. Now knowing that Mark Ronson left, didn't want to go back to Interscope. So all of the artists that he signed to Interscope wind up getting dropped as kind of like punishment. So while it was just running around, he explains the story. He runs into Ross, I think at a strip club, and Ross is like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I thought you'd be on some conscious shit." And he's like, "Nah, I like strippers too." And they wind up vibing and hanging out and becoming really close friends. And then you have this collection come together for this MMG thing. And I remember seeing it, and it was so random because it was like, yo, what is this gonna look like? But once I think everyone heard Pandemonium, everyone's perception of the three of them completely changed. Like, yo, this may actually work. Like, I remember hearing Pandemonium, like, what is going on here? This is very different. And then by the time Self-Made came out, I think, you know, this is Meek. This is Meek's welcome party, essentially. Like, I don't think like hearing the album, you thought it would be more of like a compilation song. That would be the breakout track, but I'm a Boss still plays now. Like, literally still plays all the way through. So I think there's a lot of high key moments on this album. There's a lot of hits on this album um, as well as like underground street hits, but popular hits that became singles as well. So I think it's very just well balanced. There's a great gunplay track on here. There's a great pill track. It's very well balanced. Like, I think they did a really good job. I think this is the best one out of the volumes. I know Self-Made 4 is supposed to be coming out soon, but Self-Made 1 is definitely a classic in my book.
Well, all right. With that being said, we'll just get into the album, right? The album kicks off with Self-Made, the title track, and it features the whole squad. You got Wale, you got Meek Mill, Pill, Ross, and Tidra Moses in the background just harmonizing as these niggas is rapping. And it's produced by Just Blaze. I think it was a really solid way to kick this album off. I like this song a lot.
This song was nuts.
Yeah, this song was cool. It was a good opening song. It's really good to open up a show as well. It's a good song. Wale ate them niggas up on this song. That's about it.
Yeah,
I thought there was some key moments in there, like even you know, Wale saying I left Jimmy because they were spending silly with the budget. Now with some cooler niggas I could fuck with. I thought that was very interesting at that time to kind of really openly say, like, yeah, I left Interscope. This is where I'm at. And then like even Meek coming in, kind of like at that time too, I felt like Meek was always rapping about somebody knocking at his door.
Yeah. I can hear it. Like, as soon as you said it, I hear it in my head.
So I don't get why that was like his thing, but like that at the time that was interesting. And it was the first time I heard like Ross not necessarily rap, but like his voice be used as ad libs, and it was crazy on somebody else's song because it just worked.
Yeah, because I feel like prior to this, he was kind of building up to that. Like I said, Ashes to Ashes came out before this, and Ashes to Ashes was I feel like what birthed the Ross grunt. Like, that's when he first started doing it. And then so hearing it on this album and him kind of just taking a backseat to all of them was pretty dope.
Do y'all ever wonder like why per se the industry like champions Meek so much?
It's the heart. It's the way Meek raps, and he still raps very similar in this cadence of like trying to break through. Like you always he kind of has like this underdog mentality in this tone that you hear in his rap that people can just relate to.
Yo, Meek Mill is the Ben Simmons of rap.
Probably, I would say maybe I wouldn't say, I can't say Rondo because
No.
He's not
He's not Rondo. Rondo has something that's called playoff Rondo.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that Meek is somebody that was like when he came into the game, there was a lot of attention around him, right? And he's still coveted, but like he hasn't changed as an artist. He hasn't grown as an artist.
No.
Right?
Well, no. I'll take that back.
Hasn't.
Championship proved it.
No, it did not.
Championship proved it. To me, it did.
No, all he did was just stay consistent.
It was very evident. When you hear championships, it's very evident in a lot of money poured into that album. That it just sounds like
his lyrical content didn't change. He didn't make any thought-provoking songs. He didn't there was nothing different from the formula that he already has making his albums.
But to answer your question though, I think Meek is championed because well, he, you know, they kind of fan the flames with him a little bit because he has this rags to riches type story, and like everybody remembers Meek with the braids, and it's that whole that I feel like that video did a lot for him, of him freestyling with the braids, or even back then, him building his name in Philly, to seeing where he's at now. So it's like people that followed him from then to now really are really attached themselves to his rise. But I've never been a huge Meek fan. I like hearing him sometimes, but it's still, he has this appeal to him where it's like no matter how big he gets, it still feels like he's trying to make it, that people really like.
This nigga been trying to. This it feel like he been waiting for his big break. Ever since, bro. Like, you know, I'm just all I'm saying is that he does everything right, but his 3-point is broke.
I mean, I felt like a lot of the older rappers just they kind of just covered him. They kind of like, yo, that's little bro. There's somebody
that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think
he's the only one that gets that.
It cripples him too, because he's never, with this in light or with this in mind, he's never going to be looked at like an OG, because he's always going to be under somebody's wing.
And the younger dudes coming up feel like they're his fucking, like, I don't think Little Baby calls Meek his OG.
He's never going to be.
I think he calls Meek his peer.
Probably.
And Meek has been out here since what year was Dreams and Nightmares? Was that 2012?
Yeah.
So he's been, bro, almost 10 solid years since he first came out, since his debut. So it's like, you know, when are you gonna be that OG, or when are you gonna reach that next step? What is the next?
A lot of those blog era rappers kind of get looked at that way in a sense, except for Drake. But Drake distanced himself from that look once he did Take Care.
Cole don't get looked at like that.
What do you mean he don't get looked at like Drake, or like he don't get looked at like Wale?
No, like he don't get looked at like that. He don't get looked at like Meek, where like he's.
Oh no, I think
because Cole, at the end of the day, Meek is a street nigga.
Well, no, I think once Cole started, stopped cutting his hair and started being a recluse and being like hard to like get in touch with, and then he went on that tour. I think certain artists. All right, this is something, and I could be wrong. Well, this is one element. I think when you're an artist and you can go on you can sell out like the Garden, like it's certain things that you do. You earn a certain amount of respect, and I definitely know that Meek could not sell out arenas on his headlining.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
No, so I just think that that's the thing. Like, and I feel like he wants to get to that point. I think it bothers him. I think he, like, even though like him and Drake made up, I feel like it bothers him that like he can't be on that level. Or like when he was dating Nicki and like he saw where she was at and everything like that. Like he could say he liked the streets, he liked the trenches and all that shit, but
yeah,
it sucks when you're around certain people and you see they getting certain attention, admiration, and you just like, damn, like he was supposed to pass Ross. So that's why I always like we're going back to this, and I'm listening to this, and I feel like there's no growth with his lyrical content and things like that. But I can listen to Wale, and I can see that there's growth, but it's just unfortunate the cards that Wale was dealt in his career, as far as people caring about like his lyrically, like Wale has found new flows.
Yeah,
I'm not even a Wale like person that champions Wale, but like I'm like, oh shit, like he was right, like he's changed it up, like he's getting better, he's gotten better over time, and his projects like have growth, and like he tries different things, and like think about it, back then like everybody was saying like Wale shouldn't be a part of this label, but like in my opinion, he's had some of the biggest songs on the label. Making strip club songs, making street anthems, like he's done it. Sorry, y'all, he's done it. So it's just like for me, it's like I'm not saying that Meek hasn't, but I just feel that Wale's done better.
Well, you also have to remember that after what is it? After 2012 or no, before 2012, Complex does that top 10 rapper list, and they put Meek higher than Wale, purely off of I'm a Boss, and like he was pissed. He was like, "Yo, I just put out an album. Like, what are y'all talking about?" And at that time, there was a lot of popularity, and I think that, like to Torian's point, the favoritism was quite obvious, but it was because Meek was a street nigga that made it, and a lot of the other rappers, the big rappers that we know, they all have that same background. So there was a different amount of relation they had opposed to like J. Cole and Wale that weren't street niggas, but who could make music. It was very, very different. So I still think that's the way it is today. I think Meek has got better at making music, but I don't think his cadence has changed. I think the production has just gotten better.
All right,
But that's what people champion for.
this is the last thing I'll say. I just think about it because I look at a rapper like a Little Baby, and like people already say Little Baby lyrically has gotten better. Like people are like Little Baby already gets like critical acclaim that me like people say things about Little Baby that they've never said about me. Like to me, Little Baby has already passed me.
Absolutely, he's way more necessary in music now.
Like Little Baby probably can't do an arena tour by himself, but he can absolutely do it with him and Amigos. Headline.
He can open for the Migos.
Yeah, like it could be like a QC tour, and like they'll do fine. Him, Little Baby, and Little Baby.
If you want to be
both
honest, Tory Lanez, I mean, we don't speak about him now, but at the time when Tory was in our graces, he had surpassed Meek. And Tory was Meek was a one champion Tory at one point in time and putting him on a lot of his records.
I don't even know, because I'll be honest, I didn't really listen to Tory before he ruined his life. So
I mean,
yeah, I listen to Tory here and there. But he started getting my attention with he had released this one song that I really liked back then called LA Confidential. I really liked that back then. And then once I saw the direction that he was going, and that he was gonna be sticking to like sampling and all of this shit, like I was just like, all right, I'm off this ship. Like I didn't really need it. But I did recognize that Meek was one of the first people to champion Tory back then. But we'll get into the next song, which is Tupac Back. And I don't think I knew that this was produced by Mike Will. Doesn't even sound like a Mike Will beat.
What was the point of this fucking song?
It sounds like Mike to me.
It doesn't sound like song. What was it?
I don't know. But everyone liked it though. Everybody liked this damn song though.
Well, okay. So the point of this song, and I think the point of this song was just to kind of the way that they wanted to market Meek back then. He was supposed to be this street dude, right? He was supposed to be restoring the feeling of pop, of like back then. I think that's the whole point of it. That's what they were trying to give him. They were trying to give him that angle, but it just doesn't really sound that great. The chorus, people know the chorus because it's a big chorus, but
huge chorus.
Yeah.
Like you heard this song played like a bunch of times. Now, why, I don't know, but people loved Tupac Back. Like they really, really did. Like there was a video for it and everything.
I remember
and go ahead, Reg.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and when it, as much as I hated it when it played, I let it play all the way through, all the time.
It's not, yeah. I never really cared for this song like that. We can just move on to the next one if y'all want.
We really could move on to the next one. I'll be completely fine.
To me, next song is 600 Benz. It's Wale. It's his big MMG debut. It featured Rick Ross and Jadakiss, and it's produced by Cardiac.
Do like this song.
I did too.
This was supposed to be the first single for the album too.
For this album?
Yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, was supposed to be the first single.
I still remember the premiere of this song because they did well when they had it on Hot 97. They played this song on Hot 97 as the big announcement that that Wale was signed to MMG. So this is a bit they were trying to really push this song, and I really liked it. I thought it was dope, but I remember a lot of Wale enthusiasts back then not really fucking with it because it wasn't the Wale sound back then.
Yeah, I don't understand why this was the lead single. I felt like the approach that they took with Wale was basically trying to like make him. I feel like him being featured on other people's songs made sense, but like his like songs being a song being his, rapping about a 600 bins and shit like that, like that wasn't Wale's thing, and I think that was where a lot of mistakes were made with what they were
I
doing.
mean, totally, because you have More About Nothing that comes out in 2010. So you're still in the same pocket with your go-go music, your loud drums, conscious, witty, sneaker rap, whatever the case may be, couple poems here and there. And then literally the next year, your whole sound changes.
Yeah.
Like literally, like it wasn't even a transition. Like it just you sounded like it was cute on Pandemonium when I first heard it. Like, oh look, Wale's rapping like the rest of the rappers, and then we got the album, and I was like, no, Wale's rapping like all the other rappers, and they were killing him on social media. I don't think they got him as bad on Self-Made the way they did him for Ambition. Like when Ambition came out, they flamed him.
Yo,
But
the crazy shit is I liked a lot of songs on Ambition.
I loved Ambition.
Ambition wasn't really there for me either. I didn't really like it.
Like
it was okay.
That I liked.
It was okay, but I didn't really love it. Not as much as I liked because it sounded generic. It was nothing I didn't hear before. And I think like when you listen to like Attention Deficit, More About Nothing, Mixtape About Nothing, all of those in that time frame, it was such a variation of music that it just seemed more well balanced. So I mean, I like 600 Bins just because I like Jadakiss has an amazing verse on it.
Yeah.
You know, Digital Ruler, Arm's Length of the Ruger. I was really surprised like he even jumped on the track with it like this early, but I think that was the beauty of this album. Like to Taurian's point, Ross just being such an amazing A&R and be able to get artists like, yo, I'm putting together this conglomerate label, this conglomerate album. Come jump on this album because now you look at all the other Maybach music volumes and there's so many new artists on them.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was really dope. I do like this song. This is one of my favorite songs on the album.
Okay. All right. So we'll get into the next song, which is Pac-Man, and it's Pill featuring Rick Ross. It's produced by Young Shun. This was a solid song. I think what's funny about Pill when he broke away from MMG or when that whole thing came about, I remember Ross being asked about it, and he was like, "Well, actually, Pill was never signed to MMG." And I always thought that was interesting because obviously he rode with them a lot, right? But we've seen this we've kind of seen this throughout hip hop, like especially around those times where like 2 Chainz was rolling with good music heavy, but he wasn't signing good music. It was just the look. So I think that's what happened with Pill. Or I don't know, Ross could just be lying because it didn't work out. I don't know. But
Pill confirmed it. Pill said that because he was signed to Atlantic and pretty much their hip hop division was focusing solely on MMG. So they were like, yo, just work with them because we really don't even know what to do with you. So like he was just like, all right. And then this was supposed to set up his solo project, you know, and they were just like, yo, this would be a good look for you, you know. And it kind of backfired because he was jealous of Meek. Like imagine like, you know, before this, like you are like hailed. Like Pill was like, you know, it was a big deal. I forgot the name of his mixtape, but like he was getting a lot of attention. And then you come over there and like you got this like Meek, basically a northerner, you know, pretty much constantly getting his dick sucked for everything that he does. Like Pill was just jealous and he felt the way about it. And
Yeah.
and then also on top of that, you know, as we know now, Pill suffers from alcoholism, so that didn't help. And you know, Ross kind of like runs a tight ship. Like everybody thinks that Ross isn't very disciplined, but he is. He's very disciplined and he's very much about going to the studio, getting the job done. You know, I think he just makes it look extremely easy, but he does. So I think that you know, once Ross noticed that, he was like, "Nigga, I'm doing you a favor. Like, I don't even fuck it. Like you serve me no purpose. Get the fuck out of here." And that was it.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Um, it was a good song though, but it's kind of like one of those regular filler Rick Ross songs. But I think I did like Pill though. I did think he was like a cool little addition to 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 um to MMG. But then once I got Gunplay on Volume 2, I was like, nah, I don't need Pill. This is cool. So he kind of just faded into the background, honestly.
Yeah, he did. Like you guys said, I mean, this was a solid song, but just I don't know, it comes as filler for me, even though I don't mind it. But Ross is really, I also realized Ross is really good at filler songs when he just wants some shit that like kind of fits in like the landscape of the album. He'll give you like 100 of these. That he's good at that. And that takes me into the next song, which is By Any Means. By Any Means features Wale, Meek, Pill, and Ross. Is produced by Lil Lottie. I hope I said that right. This also feels like filler, but it's I like the chorus a lot.
I do.
Yeah.
I do like the chorus a lot on this song. What I did like too, it was very it was interesting because like a lot of these beats you knew came from a beat tape that was definitely made for Ross. And he was just
Yeah.
like, nah, give it to them and see what they're gonna do, see what they do with it. Because even Tupac back sounds like a Rick Ross joint. Any Means, definitely I can hear it. Maybe not on Albert Estate Albert Stop, what is that?
Albert
What is it?
Anastasia.
Anastasia. Like maybe not on that because by that time his sound had changed from like Teflon Don. But in between that time, you can hear beats like By Any Means. Definitely.
Agreed. That's true.
Because by that time Ross was doing a lot of his own choruses. Like he was just rapping them, he would just do the verse and do the chorus at the same time. So he was into like repeating stuff too as the chorus.
Mm-hmm. Which I really fucked with. I like that. I like that era of Ross.
Very
You
good
didn't
time
like it?
of Ross music.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll get
I'm
in.
buying shoes at the sneaker store. Woo! I'm buying shoes. Like he would say anything, and we just be like,
okay. Yeah.
It just worked. It didn't matter what it was.
Oh man, he knocking at the door. Don't let the devil in. I will not, Ross. I will not let the devil in. Next song is Fitted Cap.
Man.
It's Wale, Meek Mill, Ross, and features J. Cole. I hated this song. I hated this song. I hate it. J. Cole was so bad on this song.
Terrible.
He was so bad on this song.
Terrible.
I feel like Wale was talking shit to Ross, like, yo, I can get Wale. I mean, I could get Cole. I can get Cole to come through the studio. And he did, and Cole fucking gave him a dud.
Yeah, this is such a Wale. I feel like Wale really pitched this song, like PowerPoint presentation, everything. Like, yo, we need a song like this. This is such a Wale type song that would be on a mixtape.
Definitely. But this was also a part of that kind of Wale is like Blacklash, because I remember hearing this song and I'm listening to it, and my Jordan's hot tops. I'm like, all right, cool. It sounds cool. Like the chorus was amazing, but I felt like the Wale bars were lackluster. I felt that it was super like I was just like, really, like my chick Black and White, she a Concord, and I'm just like, that's lazy.
Concord.
Um,
You know what line I like from this song though? I liked catch up to my cool wave, no LL, but these cool J's. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
that was a
I was
bar.
like, yo, how has nobody said that before? It's one of those easy lines. It's just like, no, some he said cool grays, no LL, but these cool J's. Yeah. I was like, okay.
I think for me it was I like my girls and SBs. I got a thing for them pick.
That Rob is frozen.
Song sucks.
This song is bad. I hated the beat, everything about this.
I'm mad that Rob made us sit through this fucking album, bro. Like when I was suggesting the album that I wanted to do, and you said this album, I just just answered you through my teeth. Like, all right, Reg.
Oh yeah, only so the reason why it's funny that we talking shit about Rob because he frozen, but only reason why, only reason why I wanted to do it was because, I mean, Rob has been talking about doing this album for a while. He's been wanting.
I get it, but it's just like I don't understand why Rob doesn't like us.
Yeah.
Like, why would Rob make me sit through this fucking album? Let's just keep it moving, man.
You back, Rob? You look frozen again.
I will say I thought, yeah, I'm back. J. Cole sounded very poor in the song. I'm back. Can you hear me now?
Well, J. Cole just don't know. You don't know streetwear.
Yo, but he sounds like he sounds poor though. Like you remember when them shoes came out and we couldn't afford them?
Oh yeah.
It was just like what?
Nobody. He always, when it's like shit like this, or like, if he has to give you a song about, like, he always goes somewhere he's not supposed to go. He doesn't focus on the topic like he's supposed to and just have fun. He always trying to like go a little further. Like what he did on Come Through and Chill, I'll never forgive him for. It's just about chilling, and he talking about Kaepernick. Like, come on, man.
Now it's not the time.
It's not.
But he did that on Lights, Please. Shorty was trying to get it popping, and he was just like, nah, but the world is ending, and people need to take care of their kids. And like, yo, Lights, please.
Lights, please. Just relax, bro. But we'll get into the next song, which is Rise. Rise features Pill, Wale, Tidra Moses, and it features Currency and Saha the Prince.
I do like this song a lot.
I do like this song.
Yo, do you know the first three artists that Ross asked to be a part of MMG originally?
I
know Wiz was one of them.
Wiz, Nipsey, Currency.
Okay.
That's an incredible group.
Yeah.
Wiz was like, nigga, I'm about nah. Wiz was
taken off, and I remember he turned him down because he was like, well, I got Taylor Gang and I'm trying to do my own shit.
Yeah. That I'm glad that was the best decision Wiz could have made. I felt like Nipsey had just had a lot of foresight, because I think Nipsey would have benefited from being on Maybach Music Group more than anybody, but I don't think that Nipsey would be respected in the regard that he is now if he would have did that.
Yeah, agreed.
Absolutely.
He had a lot of foresight and a lot of belief in himself, which I thought was dope. And Currency, to me, in a sense, with Currency, even though like street shit is his lane, I think his fan base would have really been mad at him.
Yeah, because I mean, we're not used to like Ross production comes with like Beat Billionaire, Jahel Beats, Lex Luger, like these heavy 808 sounds.
Cool and Dre.
Yeah, so where opposed to like Currency is Alchemist, Harry Fraud. I would even say Mad Lib. Like it's a completely different sound for Currency. So
Yeah,
it definitely makes sense.
it
It
is.
was interesting to hear Sahai on this though. I was just like, where did you go find him at?
Yeah, he kicked this song off.
He's a studio rat, so I'm pretty sure that like he was there when they were recording, and he has a good relationship with a lot of people because he's a huge writer in the industry. So I'm pretty sure that Sahai and Ross have a great relationship.
I believe that.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Do you think it sprouted out of Twisted Dark Fantasy?
Probably, but you also got to remember, like, Ross was in Sahai's shoes at one point in his career, so Ross probably like takes a liking to Sahai. You know, at one point, Ross was the pen that you called when you needed a hit song, and then Sahai became that person.
Yeah. What the fuck did Ross know what he wanted to do with Cedra Moses? Like I just really never understood why she was on MMG. And
I
nothing
like her on music though.
Nothing came of it.
She really could sing. I thought she was really dope.
She could sing. She had a good voice. They just didn't know what to do with her. And then I remember Ross coming out with saying something really, really toxic, which actually is coming up again this week. Because he had like some competition show. Well, there was some competition show where he was overseeing like some talented women that were singing. One of the women went up and sang, and she just wasn't that good, but she looked great. And he like was, yo, she's amazing, this and that. Then another girl came and she sang over the same beat, but she sounded amazing. And he was like, yeah, nah, that's not really what we're looking for. Shorty that went before you, she knew what it was. And everybody was like, word, nigga? And then people started digging up comments, of course, because I think an interviewer asked him back in the day, like, yo, are you gonna sign any women to MMG?
That came back up?
Yeah, you remember that?
That was super toxic.
Yeah. He said, that nigga said, I can't sign any women because, you know, I would want to fuck them. I'm spending all this money on them, looking good and on their album and photo shoots. You know, it just wouldn't be beneficial for me to move that way. Some dumb shit he said, and
bro,
it was like, oh my God, bro, are you all right? You can't say that.
That nigga basically said, yo, I'll be just like Irv Gotti.
Wow. You can't prove that. Like, what's wrong with
you?
you?
You can't prove that. No, like him and Ashanti had an affair together.
Yeah, that's been spoken on. That's like public knowledge.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Charlie Baltimore gave him some butt too.
Gave him some butt. Charlie Baltimore. I hope she's well wherever she is.
She is, man. Charlie Baltimore's doing well, and so is her daughter.
Yeah, I hope so. So we'll get into the next song, which is That Way. That Way is Wale featuring Jeremiah and Ross, and it's produced by Lex Luger, which is a very impressive Lex Luger production. This isn't your typical Lex Luger aggression or whatever. And Lex, little tidbit about him, he was on fire around this time, as we know. Like he was on Watch the Throne. He was producing everything that was like a street single for all the artists back then. And I remember seeing an interview of him back then, of him talking about how frustrated he was because he was kind of grouped in to doing all the street singles for all the artists, because he was like, yo, all these niggas are copycat. I feel like it kind of bit him in the ass in retrospect to say that, but he used to say like all these people are just ass kissers and they just follow trends because they all want the same sound, so it doesn't give him the leeway to kind of extend his arms and do other shit because everybody is requesting the same shit, which I think is something that happens with a lot of different producers.
I'm doing something.
You just can't smell it? Tell me if you smell bad.
Mute yourself, Rob. Jesus. But I say all that to say this was impressive production. I like this production a lot. I like this song a lot. What you thought about it, T?
I think that the production part was the most impressive, but by this time of the album, I'm like checking out. I start
Oh yeah,
getting, yeah, I started like getting like, oh man, like I started like counting the tracks and shit.
yeah. I think. Well, I like this chorus too, and it always, anytime I listen to some shit from Jeremiah, I'm always reminded, like, damn, this nigga has really been out here for a long time.
And he's
Jeremiah has
still
been out,
alive.
yeah, Jeremiah has been out here for a
Could have
very long
died.
time. Yeah, he could have died. But birthday sex was like in 20.
Are we sure that it's not Jeremiah's body double?
It could be. He did try to pull that stunt.
It's
You don't remember
true.
that, Rob?
I do. I think I do like Jeremiah's an incredible artist. I think that everybody in the industry will call him for a feature. And I think he always delivers a good feature. And I especially like him with production with what is that boy name who changed his name? With Berg. When he does music with Berg, I think it's amazing. Like that collaborative project he has with Ty Dolla $ign is spot on.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think he's a jewel in the industry. I just think that on the solo tip, it doesn't get received well, opposed to like every time you hear him on a feature. I look forward to hearing him on a feature, just not necessarily on a solo project.
What? You are bugging. Because Late Night is a good album. You should revisit
It
that.
is. No, it is. I'm not taking that away, but like I look forward to hearing Jeremiah on a featured project, like all the time.
Okay.
Because he just delivers. His voice is so refreshing to hear on certain songs that you don't really even like, even on the way. Like the way when this song plays in the album, it changes the complete tone of the album.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like it's weirdly placed, but you're not mad at the placement either.
Yeah. This is the Wale, and this is also the Wale that people really enjoy. So when we got this on the album, I was like, all right, he's in his element. Like this sounds good. And
Yeah,
a great Ross verse too.
amazing Ross verse.
Great Ross verse. We'll get into the
Amazing Ross verse.
next song is I'm a Boss, is Meek Mill featuring Ross. Shahil Beats. Yes.
Holla at me.
What can we say about this song that hasn't been said? It's still a good
It's a hit.
Yeah. Ross verse on here.
Got so many shoes, thought I had a lazy eye.
Oh.
Shorty, you ride me smooth like my Mercedes ride.
No Love Cry When Only Babies Die. This is a good song, man. That beat is so intense.
Whew. And the most prolific what is it, the most prolific bar out of that? Fuck a blog, dogs. One day we go meet.
I'm a spaz on your ass like I'm on E.
You were talking to Vlad.
Yeah.
That's crazy how he beat Vlad ass like that.
Is it though? Yeah.
What a time. This song really takes me back.
Bro, I remember hearing it, and this was one of the first songs in a while that became a hit organically. Like I remember hearing it on the album, and I was playing it, but you didn't realize that everyone else around you was playing it too. And then slowly but surely, everybody was like, "Nah, this is the song."
Mm-hmm. I think my first time, my earliest memory of hearing this song is watching a video on World Star. So because that was a big deal when this video dropped. That was like, I'll never forget that. It was just a moment. It was like, oh shit, all right, well, they moving this way with me. Let me check for this guy. Let's see what's going on. I was already a Ross fan. The whole package was there.
That do. He was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like
the way the
it just
beat starts, the opening bars. It
I
just
be riding through my old hood. Like, all right.
my new whip. Yeah, this shit is just it's undeniable. It's undeniable.
And what is it? Uh Thank God all these models I got. Like he was just whew, it was intense and it still goes off.
Yeah,
Like
it
it's
does.
still and the crazy thing, it's been a while since you get a song that's 3 verses that everyone plays all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one cuts. Like there's certain specific parts in the in the song that you just like you need. Like Herschel Walker Wood, Bo Jack, Ricky Waters. Like it's just too many great lines. Incredible song.
This is probably one of this could man, this is so hard. But this is probably one of the greatest 200 rap albums of all time. I started to say 100, but I was like, nah. But like this is up there. One of the like if we had to come up with a list of 200 rap songs of all time, I think this song is up there.
I think as time is progression, it's slowly creeping into the hundreds. I think it's slowly creeping into the hundreds.
Well, I my thing is you had to think about it, right? I have songs like, well, you got to understand that mine, I still count the 80s. There's a lot of people that don't. So there's certain songs from the 80s to me that are timeless that some people probably would never want to hear, like The Freaks Come Out at Night.
Houdini? I mean, sure.
Or like White Lines. You know what I'm saying?
I love White Lines. That's a good song.
Or The Message, Broken Glass everywhere. Some people will never want to hear that shit again, but for me, I'll be out here like, oh shit.
Running through my mind. I think of you.
Go to the next song, which is Don't Let Me Go. It's Pill featuring Gunplay.
Yeah, man. Like I said, man, Pill had a really promising career. Like I wish that he was able to like stay on track, man. But like I really think that Pill would have been a big deal. I hated his name, but whatever. That's a whole nother conversation. But I really think that he had a promising career ahead of him. And I just think that circumstances put him in a position to not be successful. Circumstances and his team around him. You want to know who actually was really close with Pill at one point? And I think still is Lindsay.
Oh yeah?
Atlanta? Yeah, her and Pill were really close, and she would tell me that like the people from the label would get in contact with her and be like, Lindsay, can you just get a hold of Pill? He'll listen to you. And in my head, I'm just thinking about it, like, cause like Lindsay was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. Like, I don't know how to stop this nigga from drinking. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like they like an artist is an artist, and sometimes people don't know what to do, and then they just panic, and then they'll just be like, hey, I heard this person tell him to stop, and he stopped. Let's call her. So you get him in the studio or some shit. And it's just one of those things where it's like it really is hard to do that,
Yeah. Yeah, I did want to see where Pill was going, but like I said, I was never invested really in his shit. I enjoyed him when I heard him, but I was never checking for him.
I do like this song a lot though.
I did, yeah, I like this song too. And I actually was checking for Gunplay. Gunplay hasn't released much that I didn't like. Like he's always delivered for me. Almost always has delivered for me. So hearing them both on this song was pretty cool. We can get it to the next song, which is Pandemonium. Pandemonium is Ross, Meek Mill, and Wale. It's produced by Lee Major. I fuck with this song a lot. They had this is in the same vein of they had this mixtape song called Finals, which was like a Lucy. Finals is fire. I like that one more than Pandemonium, but Pandemonium is really good. They all sounded great on this song.
It was so interesting when the video dropped on Worldstar. Now that you mentioned Worldstar and like how big of a deal it was back then to get video music premieres, and I think it's because like we knew YouTube did video premieres and it was what it was, but it felt like you really got the grittiness of getting it from Worldstar.
Mhm.
Like you look forward to seeing it on World Star opposed
Yeah.
to like seeing it on YouTube.
World Star definitely took it up a notch. Like you're right. I think shit, even thinking about it, Meek owes a lot of his early success to World Star because he just fit in the mode of like the type of content that they gave you.
Yeah,
But
I actually this is what okay, so this is a song that I listened to and I was like, all right, I like this, and it's crazy that you say that mention the finals, right? Because I was pretty upset that finals didn't make this project, and I'm like, maybe there was a sample in there that wouldn't clear or something like that, but I actually liked finals a lot and was really upset that it didn't make, because if I'm not mistaken, that I think they dropped finals during the NBA finals that year, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I think so. The cover, but I remember the cover of it was Bill Russell with his rings like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man,
Um,
that was a dope song. I wish it did make it, but like I enjoyed this song on the album. Nothing is really blowing me away on this album though. Nothing was undeniable. Nothing was groundbreaking or anything. But yeah,
yeah, but I like this song. The next song is "Play Your Part." Is Ross, Wale, Meek, featuring DEA from Chester French. I like this chorus a lot.
This
I
was
like this.
a favorite to me too, and it was on Ashes to Ashes too.
Yeah, it was. It was originally on Ashes to Ashes. Just play your part. Yeah, I really like this chorus. All of them sounded great.
it was
Even
it was a cool chorus.
even uh, even Meek, even though he says some cheesy lines, and um, it was good. It was good. You had anything
And
else on
that,
Rob?
I mean, it's just interesting. Like hearing Meek back then, he was just so generic, and then for for Taurian to be like, "There's no real growth," but I think it is. I think his content has changed a lot. Like it's not. He started digging a little deeper. It may not be as deep as we want it to be,
Mm-hmm.
but it's definitely deeper than what it was at one point in time. Because between the devil knocking at his door, Frankie calling, his Audemars, his Rolly, and whatever other three things I'm missing, that was pretty
Just
much
stop
me doing
rapping
what.
about that shit before championships. What are you talking about?
Nah. Dreams worth more than nightmares. He wasn't rapping about that,
The album cover has a Rolex on it.
but he wasn't rapping about. All right, I'm sorry, Tori. Go ahead.
All
I
right, we'll
felt
get
like
into
it was some growth, but okay.
we could get right into the next song, which is Riding on That Pole. It's a pill solo.
Pause.
Yeah, it's a pill solo. Raz of Beat Billionaire produced it. Um, you have to defend this one, Rob.
It's a strip club song.
Yeah.
I could see this in KOD. I could see it in and Live. Like it's just one of those songs, which I do have a problem because I feel like some of the quiet strip club songs don't make it as much as I would want them to. Like I think I was somewhere where like I was at some party and I think it's Miss Malone. She played 1999 by Big Crit and Lloyd, and I was just like, "Yo, you are a DJ's DJ."
Oh yeah, I feel like you've brought that up before.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I feel like there's certain DJs who just go through albums and like listen for music based upon sound and not popularity. Because although this song may not work like listening to it phonetically, but if you're in a certain setting and you hear this song, it plays beautifully
Yeah.
because
I mean,
the beat has that sliding down the pole kind of sound to it.
it's made specifically for, you know, for that
Yeah,
type of vibe. Yeah.
that's a fact.
Um, we can get into the next song, which is Big Bank. Big Bank is Meek Mill, Pill, Ross, features French Montana, and Torch, who I forgot all about. I forgot all about Torch. It was produced, and this was produced by Young Shun. But I remember Torch was supposed to be on MMG, and he was supposed to have this big moment. He had this single that I really liked with Ross, and nothing came of it. Nothing happened with Torch. This is a song that is, your typical Ross filler. It's not, it doesn't really do shit.
Being self-made is something you gotta do by yourself when you want to be made. Like, all right.
Yeah. I don't need this shit. Wait, is this the last song on this album?
Running Rebels is the last song.
Okay.
Big Bank is definitely it's one of those, I hate to say it's a great filler Ross record though. Like,
yeah,
it just has a lot of those, like you said.
He has
like,
a lot of those.
You don't hate it, but you're just like, okay. Okay, Torian. So Torian, this is up there with Tupac Back.
Yo, we didn't like this. This album is fucking trash.
And we'll get into Rock calling it a classic too. But okay, we'll get into the next song. Next song is Running Rebels. This is Wale featuring Meek, Stally, Tidra Moses. It's produced by Tone P.
Shout out to Stally.
This song I do like.
Yeah, this song is cool. I wish things worked out better for Stally with MMG. I just think that Stally doesn't trust anyone but himself in his own ear. And I think that's where things kind of like went. I still champion Ohio. Hopefully we will do a rap note on Ohio, but we shall see. Or maybe Lincoln Way Nights. I feel like I can defend Lincoln Way Nights way better than I can defend Ohio.
You could do American Scheming too. American Scheming was really good.
I don't think anybody will like that project besides you and myself. But yeah, yeah, man, cool song. Like I said, it gets to a point where you're listening to this shit and it's just like, bro, she could have just put out a solo album, bro. You could have just did what Hope did with the Dynasty.
Yeah, I get that.
I think Hope saved us from, like, I understand like everybody was on point, like Siegel, everybody, but like I think Hope was like, nah, this ain't going right. let me take the wheel.
Yeah, I think that was just them being scared of like catching a dub, but they knew if Hove was on the cover, people would buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think they did a good job though. I think whatever you say about MMG, as well as you're not liking this album, you can say that this is a very pivotal moment in each one of their careers respectively. Whereas we looked at, Ross as an executive producer, A&R, and having artist development, Wale jumping into different pockets and giving a new sound for him and his fan base, because as much as his core fan base didn't like his sound like this, he made a lot of money during this time. Like, he cleaned up very, very well from an industry standpoint that he wouldn't have been able to do solo or independent. And then Meek, look where Meek is today. Like, prior to this, no one knew who Meek was, or if you did, you barely knew him. This really changed his perception of him and really gave him a real star-studded career. But there are some low points as well. I mean, as much as I love Ohio wasn't really well received as much as it should for Stally. And him being on MMG, Gunplay kind of popping in and out, which I know that frustrates a lot of people because they're huge Gunplay fans. Pill kind of falling off. Teacher Moses kind of like never hearing from her again. But the album to me still sticks though. I still think it's a very solid album.
I think this album it shoots big, like most Ross things. Ross is like in a lot of ways Michael Bay, where like he'll give you everything is over the top. It's a lot of explosions. In his sense, it would be huge production. it's talked about like it's gonna be the biggest thing in the world, and when it falls flat, it's like it never happened. It just goes away. That's what Ross is. Ross, I love Ross. Like he, you know, he's highly coveted and respected, and for a reason. But like I said, a lot of his shit, just shouldn't be championed the way that it is. I feel like MMG needs a lot of work. He wants MMG to be mentioned in the lines of like early Rockefeller, Rough Riders, all the classic shit that we really fuck with. But I just think he hasn't taken the time to really polish MMG like how they need it. I think this project had a lot of promise. It had a lot of ways that it could have went, but it's just not something I check for. Besides, there's like maybe 3 songs that I still go to on this album. Yeah.
I think, like I said, out of the 3, this is the most purely based out of Meek, Wale, and Ross. Once you start getting into volume 2, volume 3, it's all over the place. Like it just becomes extremely feature heavy, and it feels like a mixtape, and they get drowned out by the features opposed to them actually rapping on their own.
Yeah.
Because like when you get into volume 2, you got Winter Circle. It has Kendrick Lamar. You get into Albert Pujols. At that time, French Montana is who French Montana is. Then volume 3 has like trophies with all those, like it becomes very feature heavy where they get lost out in the sound.
Agreed.
So I think this is why I like this one, because it's the bare bone minimum of those 3 rappers and where they were in their careers.
Okay. Well, I get that. I respect that. But with all that said, for me, I would give this album a 2.5.
Regg.
I just think it wasn't if this is the best that this crew has to offer as a crew, because compilation albums, it's an old school way of thinking, but like it's a big deal to me because it's like it's supposed to encompass what your crew offers. And I just think if this is what this crew offers, then it's just not enough. That's always how I felt. But it has some highlights on it. Like I'm not gonna shit on the highlights. The songs that are good on here are really good, but it's not enough for me.
Yeah, this album didn't really do much for me. I wasn't anticipating it, and I didn't listen to it and enjoy it. I haven't listened to it since it dropped. Regg told me that Rob wanted to hear this album, and I was a team player, so I sat through it. But yeah, Rob, I don't know what I did to you.
Yo, you are such a baby when it comes to things you don't want to listen to.
But I do it. What you mean? I did it. Like, so what are you saying?
You didn't smile through it.
I just, sometimes I'm just like, I see why Felix don't fuck with us sometimes.
All right, Rob, what's your rating?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Okay. Well, that's good. I'm happy to hear that because you said classic in the beginning of this. I didn't want to focus on you saying that because I just wanted to get into the album. But you said classic.
Classic.
Okay.
Certified.
You said what?
Certified. No, I'm playing with you. No, it's 3.5 for me.
Okay.
It's very good on nostalgia for me, and it just plays well. It's a good album I can play all the way through.
I'm glad we could talk some sense into you.
Always a pleasure. Appreciate you guys. Who but y'all? Who but us?
Okay. All right. So we'll close it out at that. If you
I gotta hurry up and get my things together. My cleaning lady's coming in a little bit, so let's get out of here, guys.
Oh shit! Yo, you hear that? Big money talk. Self-made.
Affordable Rick Ross.
That's self-made Boss 4 right there. But I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B. Please believe me.
And we are out of here. Peace.